Welcome to Michelle's Making. Hope you're ready for coffee, crafts, cookies, and cocktails. Let's get going.
Welcome and welcome back to those of you returning. I really do appreciate it. Today is National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. That is my absolute favorite ice cream. I know it may sound a little plain to some, but I love it. It's also Gorgeous Grandma Day. So, in honor of that, I have my glitter glasses on and celebrating. We're all gorgeous. So, to all you other gorgeous grandmas out there, enjoy your day. French vanilla creamer in our coffee, the old standby. We'll enjoy that, make it a great one, and get going.
Today, rather than cookies, we're going to make a delicious peach cobbler. You'll begin by peeling your peaches. Don't worry, this entire recipe will be in the description box. Preheat your oven to 375, and while the oven is preheating, put a stick of butter in your pan in the oven because you need melted butter for this. 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt. Once your peaches are cut up, you're going to cook them on the stove. Now, the easiest way to peel peaches is to put them in a pot of boiling water for about 30 seconds and blanch them, and then put them in an ice bath and the peel comes right off. To cook your peaches down, after they're sliced, you put them in a pot with a cup of sugar and a tablespoon of lemon juice. Turn the heat on medium-high and stir frequently. Here you see the melted butter in the pan. Just leave it there as is because you'll pour your flour mixture on top of that. I add a little sprinkle of cinnamon to my flour mixture and a little bit of vanilla to my milk. Don't forget to stir those peaches. Next, you'll stir your milk into your flour mixture. Don't overmix this, just until the flour is moist. Check your peaches and stir them again. Next, you're going to pour your batter mix right on top of the butter. Do not stir it, just leave it as is. And now it's time to add the peaches. One final stir, and then add the peaches to the batter on top, and do not stir. I placed my pan on a cookie sheet to make it easier to transfer to the oven, but you'll bake for about 40 minutes until it's golden brown. And there you have our delicious peach cobbler. Add a little homemade whipped cream to it. That's yummylicious. Our crafts today are very easy, and our first one is a roped planter. I picked up this metal pail from Dollar Tree, and it had some jute rope around the top, which I really liked, but I wanted the entire planter to be rope. And I was going to use the thick nautical rope for the bottom, which is also from Dollar Tree. And then I had some twine I was going to fill in between the two. My twine was thinner than the one that was used on the pail, so I used 2 strands of it and twisted it as I glued it to the planter. Now here I was just checking the width that the nautical rope would create at the bottom of the planter, so I knew how far down to go with the jute. Once I could see how far I would have to go with the jute, I began gluing it to the pail. Now I used a combination of the Gorilla Glue and hot glue. The hot glue worked very well for the immediate hold, and I did use more hot glue than I did of Gorilla Glue, but I used the Gorilla Glue also intermittently just to give it a little more permanent hold in case the hot glue became loose. You may know that when you use hot glue on a tin or metal surface, it sometimes can come loose. It peels off easily. This process was a little time consuming. Twisting that twine turned out to be the most difficult part of the project. If I'd had a thicker twine, I could have just glued it around and it would have gone very quickly. The process is much quicker using the thicker nautical rope, as you'll see in a moment. The trickiest part with this is the beginning and the end. The rope was had tape around the ends of it, which I wasn't going to leave on, so you have to be careful it doesn't start to unravel, and just use a little extra hot glue. Be careful not to burn yourself. I did have a finger protector that I used a little bit, and I also used my scissors at the end to kind of tuck the frayed ends in. You might remember the remodel I've talked about, that we finally got the bay window completed, and so I'm hanging plants, and I've built some shelves in there for some plants on. So this planter is going to fit perfectly with my decor, and I will show you a complete finished picture of the windows in the next couple of weeks as I finish up with putting my plants in and decorating. Our next craft is a dried floral plaque that's also going to go in that window area. This little wooden plaque I had picked up at Walmart a while back. I think maybe it was $4 or $5. I took the tag off, and then I was looking at the way the planks were going there and couldn't decide at first, did I want them straight up and down the way it was designed to hang, or did I want them sideways? And I actually decided to go with the sideways. So I took off the twine hanger and filled in the holes with some of the thin spackling that I had picked up at Dollar Tree. Next, using my Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white, I did a dry brush technique and covered up a fair amount of the plaque. Not all of it. I did want some of the wood look to show through. And then after I did the white, I took my antiquing wax and just did a light brush of that across it also, just to give it a little more depth and dimension. I also did the sides and the back. Definitely the sides are going to show whether I put it on the wall or hang it in the window. And if I hang it in the window, I wanted the back done as well. While I was cleaning through my craft stash, I came across the jute that was wider. Had I had found that before, I could have used that on the roped planter, but I did use it for the handle. And you can see it, the one end had the tape around it, which was good for this purpose to keep it from unraveling while I stapled it to the back. So when I cut the twine, I put a little bit of tape around the end of it. Now these plants, dried plants that I had, I picked up at, I believe I got them at Hobby Lobby one time on clearance. I can't even remember how much I paid for them, but I'm sure it wasn't more than a couple of dollars. They were already tied together, which I liked. The stem was too long, so I trimmed off the bottom and fanned out the back flowers there. Or I don't know if they're not really flowers, I guess. They're dried greenery of some sort that's been painted brown, actually. I took some twine and went around the bottom just to tie it together with the hanging handle and hot glued it to the plaque. And really, that's all there was to this craft. And that's our dried floral plaque. I did decide to hang it on the wall. Now it's time for that delicious adult beverage, a strawberry watermelon martini. For this, you're going to build it over crushed ice using triple sec, the Jose Cuervo ready-to-drink light strawberry margarita mix, and some Malibu watermelon rum. Add all the liquors to the shaker. As always, the full recipe will be in the description box. But shake, shake, shake. Get your chilled glass, shake some more, pour it in, and the only thing left is to enjoy. A strawberry watermelon martini.
Well, folks, that's it for another week. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe, share with your family and friends, and help the channel grow. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know some of the things you'd like to see. I do appreciate that feedback. Let's make it a great week. Don't forget to take time to stop and smell the coffee, and I'll see you next Friday.